me, who has more Greek in him? The Greek or me? I think we have about the same, right?
Never fear, because the Greek is here. That's right, everybody. I am back. I'm up to almost 19,000 people on X. I'm growing on YouTube. We're up to 311. So first, if you're watching me on X, either live or afterwards, please follow me on X. And also, if you please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. You never want to miss a conservative Greek video. Now, today we're going to talk about Mr. Joe Biden. He's a piece of work, piece of shit. He decided after months and months and months of saying he would not pardon his son, he goes ahead and does. Now, was I shocked by this? Because I said he was going to do it anyways. Why wouldn't you do it? You got nothing left, you know. But he's still a piece of shit because of how he picked the date. 2014 and pardoned him for that window of crimes that he may have committed it or may not have committed in that time. We know there's a lot of crazy stuff with that whole family. But Joe Biden's just a piece of shit. He's spent time hurting us American people, and it's sickening. And here's the official release. Do you think that Joe Biden wrote this himself? Probably not. It's a statement from President Joe Biden. Today, I signed a plan to pardon for my hunter from the day I took off. I said I would not interfere with Justice Department's decision-making, and I kept my word even as I watched my son being selectively and unfairly prosecuted. I don't unfairly prosecuted, okay? Without aggravating factors like use in a crime, multiple purchases, or buying a weapon as a straw purchaser, but people are almost never brought to trial on felony charge solely for how they filled out a form. Those were late paying their taxes because of serious addictions, but paid them back subsequently with interest, and penalties are typically given non-resolutions. It is clear that Hunter was treated differently. Oh, was he? The charges in this case came about only after several of my political opponents in Congress instigated them, back me, and opposed my election. Then a carefully negotiated plea deal agreed by the Department of Justice unraveled in the courtroom, with a number of my political opponents in Congress bringing political pressure on the process. The plea deal held it would have been a fair, reasonable resolution of Hunter's cases. Here's where Joe Biden is wrong here, because it's after he was the plea deals fell apart that he said he would not pardon him as well as before. So, you know, no reasonable person at the facts of Hunter's case, any other clear conclusion. Hunt singled out only because he is his son, and that is wrong. There's been an effort to break Hunter, who's been 5.5 years sober. Do we really believe that? Even in the case of unrelenting attack, collective prosecution, trying to break Hunter, they've tried to break me, and there's no reason to believe it'll stop here. Enough is enough. For my entire career, I followed a simple principle: just tell people the truth. Be fair-minded. Here's the truth. I believe in the justice system, but as I've wrestled with this, I also believe raw politics has infected this process and led to misadjustice. I made the decision this week. There was no sense in delaying further. I hope Americans will understand why a father and a president will come to this decision. Oh, Joe, you did it. You pardoned your son after you said you lied. You said you wouldn't. Why did you pardon him? Well, part of me thinks there was a lot of stuff here that shows corruption in the whole Biden family. His pardon was to get that out of the news cycle. Guess who's coming for you, Joe? That's right. We're coming for you. There's a lot of stuff that you've been doing, okay? Sending all money to Ukraine. I guarantee there's a lot of shit going on there. And you are the shit master, you know? You are just a piece of shit. And you spent your time with president. Look at this tweet. This is great, right? No one is above the law, but this community note really hits it. Joe Biden pardoned his son Hunter Biden all criminal convictions on December 1st, 2024. According to Joe Biden actions, he and his son are in fact above the law. Community notes for the can we just say it's the communities of the century right there. But you know, you let your cronies in the media believe that you are some honest, fair, awesome dude who always tells the truth and stands up for what's right. Can't be because all your cases will fall apart against Trump and worried that Trump's going to seek retribution that you did this, right? Nah. Yeah, and everything is running. Use the DOJ, weaponize it. It bit you in the ass. The same DOJ that went against your son. But your son has multiple things. This isn't just a gun charge, okay? This is just, there's multiple layers here that would have shown light on your crime family. Now, here's a video I have. It's 9 minutes long, people. Sorry, but it's just a media bias and how they handle this and how they turn this into a case. Why if this were Trump or what going on? How Joe Biden said he wouldn't pardon him, and they like what he said, and this is big for justice. And here is that 9 minute
presidential promise to put the law before a family.
I said I abide by the jury decision. I will do that, and I will not pardon him.
Letting the world know that he will not wipe away the decision of 12 of his son's peers.
Was asked directly, and he has said he wouldn't pardon his son if he gets convicted.
Let's wait and see what happens if he loses.
Yeah, but he said it.
He's going to get pardoned by his dad. There's no question about that.
The president has ruled out pardoning his son.
Major commitment from the president, accepting the outcome of the trial and also pledging not to pardon his son.
So the challenge for him is really to continue to live up to his values when it was really personal, and he did that today.
It seems like a pretty normal, straightforward answer, but it takes new weight when we see what Trump is saying about the outcome of his trial, what we're hearing from other Republicans who say they don't accept the jury's verdict here in New York.
The contrast is profound. To sit there and say, well, I'm not going to intervene in the legal process, and I wouldn't pardon my son. One side, Democrats and Joe Biden protecting the justice system. And on the other, Republicans and Trump protecting Trump.
Our current president of the United States has so much respect for the law that he has said he would not pardon his son. I mean, again, it's all about the contrast.
President Biden saying, I will respect whatever this jury decides, versus right. Donald Trump after he was convicted on 34 counts, saying the entire system is rigged against him.
Their latest attack has been that Joe Biden has politicized and weaponized the DOJ, right? That was the whole argument around Donald Trump's conviction. And this week, of course, Hunter Biden was found guilty, and Joe Biden has very clearly said he would not pardon his son, he would not commute his sentence. How stark is this difference? I mean, how can Republicans keep making this argument now that Joe Biden has really put it out there? Where's Hunter? And he stood there in a courtroom, flanked by his family, and he's accepted his sentence.
He is not pardoning his son, which he could do. These are federal charges. Right. He is not doing that. He is not doing it because he is living what it means to have a rule of law in this country. Yeah. And if you want to know if he believes it, you could actually see what is happening with his own son.
The president, Anderson, has been really clear that he is going to accept the outcome of the trial no matter what happens.
So Joe Biden's gotten asked about, talking about law and order. He's gotten asked if he would pardon his son. He has said no. On the other side, you've got Donald Trump, who has said that he will pardon the January 6th insurrectionists. Yeah. They're not even his sons. They're just sons of bitches.
Washington said, I am not running again, because he understood the self-restraint was absolutely essential to this country, so you don't have a king. He did not pardon his son. He did not order the Department of Justice to say, don't prosecute my son. So impressive.
Could have ordered the Justice Department to halt the prosecution of Hunter Biden, according to this court. Everyone understands he's a decent man.
I think Joe Biden has a chance here to stand up for the rule of law, to say the law is the law, no matter who it is, no matter if it's Trump or Biden. And remember, part of Trumpism's dangerousness is that it tears down institutions, important institutions of our democracy. So there is an opportunity here for Biden to say, the jury found him guilty. This is how it's supposed to work. Period, paragraph, end of story.
Have you ruled out a pardon for your son?
Yes.
As I said last week, I will accept the outcome of this case and will continue to respect the judicial process as Hunter considers an appeal. The president said he won't touch it. He said he's not going to pardon his son. And it seems that Merrick Garland let it go through. How can the Justice Department be weaponized against Trump when all of that is happening.
But Democrats stand for the rule of law. Remember, law and order. And we've been saying that Trump's not above the law. Hunter Biden's not above the law. No one is above the law. And it is amazing to see the stark contrast between how Democrats handled today and how Republicans handled this whole thing over the last couple of weeks.
For years, these conservatives have been crowing about a politicized Justice Department, Biden politicizing it, and so on. What happened today? The Justice Department convicted the president's own son, his only living son. You heard the president say he would accept the outcome of the case. I know no other word for that, but presidential.
He even went so far as to say he wouldn't pardon his son. That's how much respect he has for the system.
The president has said that he will not pardon his son. What did you think of that?
I thought it was extraordinary. I mean, it was a moment of just moral clarity on the part of Joe Biden, and couldn't have been in starker contrast to the way Donald Trump has handled his own conviction.
He could still pardon him. He said he won't do that. All of that conduct, given that it's his son, is kind of, we should pause for a moment and think about how unbelievable that is. In a million years, if the shoe were on the other foot and Donald Trump was facing the prospect of his son being prosecuted by a Biden, me, if I had been held over, a Biden holdover or Obama holdover prosecutor, not in a million years would that have happened. So, some of the people on the right, the people who support Donald Trump, are trying to cast this as some clever ops program.
Yeah. Hunter Biden was found guilty by a jury of his peers, just like Donald Trump, because this is our justice system at work. The divide here is stunning, and it's a great reminder that one political party remains committed to the rule of law and the other doesn't.
Joe Biden has already proven he's willing to stand up for the rule of law in a way that we could all never imagine Donald Trump to do.
Pretty emphatic over the last few days that he does not plan to pardon or commute his son. What that really is him saying is, I don't plan to use the powers of the office, the powers of the presidency, to provide private relief for my family. In a sense, he's staking out a pretty bright line between being, as he says, a president and a dad. And that's not just an emotional expression. He's in effect saying, I don't think that I don't have a right, even if it's legal, and God knows it must be tempting, to use this power in a way that is not available to so many other Americans facing similar kinds of struggles. There's a kind of old school sort of flinty core to his conception of how you are to be in the system, how you are to be as a person, a moral person, and ultimately how to contend with questions of power. One of the things that anybody who spends time around Joe Biden comes to know is that he's had this long-running focus on how much he is bothered by abuses of power.
Will accept the verdict no matter what it is, and that he has ruled out pardoning his own son. Contrast that from what we hear from Donald Trump. And again, we have to underline, in no uncertain terms, President Biden saying, I will accept the outcome. I will accept what the jury decides here. That's the way our legal system works. And no, I will not pardon my own son if he is convicted.
And the contrast is so clear in terms of decency and principle and transactional guidance in terms of how you view the world.
It is still a good day for the United States that this conviction is a prime example of the way our judicial system is supposed to work. Even President Biden saying in a statement that he would respect the outcome of this case. Those words so completely contrast with what his opponent, now a convicted felon himself, continues to say about the U.S. courts.
The contrast to how Trump has behaved, how Trump has treated the rule of law. This was a good day for the system, good day for sort of America as an example of how the rule of law should work.
President Biden told David Muir that he would absolutely accept the verdict, whatever it was, and that he would not pardon his son regardless. And today he said the same thing in a statement. Meanwhile, Donald Trump comes out and calls the justice system completely unfair. What do you think of that contrast?
There's the contrast of two different
men.
Here is Joe Biden, who has lost a son who served honorably in the armed forces, who now has basically said, I will sacrifice my surviving son's future. I will allow him to serve a prison term if that's what's determined, because that is what the rule of law demands.
The president announces that he will not pardon his son. Do you think ordinary Americans give enough thought to how this system is a miracle, a gift to this country, a gift to democracy?
I mean, unbelievable. So I wrote some notes, okay? So we're going to go through these. Respect for law. Biden respects the law. He's showing that he's bigger than the law and that no one's above the law. And Trump just disses everything that has to do with the DOJ. But we know sham trials against Trump. We don't see sham against Hunter Biden. And, you know, his laptop's been protected from the media, has been lies and lies about laptop. There's a lot goes in there. Sleeping with minors, cocaine usage, doing crazy things on the laptop. There's a lot more that we can do about the laptop. And Kash Patel, who I'll talk about later in this video, releases that, makes it public. Let the people decide. Trump has no respect for the law. That's what they're saying. Hypocrisy of the left. How do all these people feel now they've been named Biden all the time? Never defend somebody like this. He's a liar, a cheat. He'll do whatever. He weaponized the DOJ, and look at the stark difference. He trusts his DOJ, and he's not going to pardon him. That's what they said. Trump should pardon all the January 6ers. I mean, you're going to pardon Hunter Biden, all the January 6ers who prosecuted unfairly this DOJ. Most who did nothing crazy, who got enormous sentences just because they were after Trump. If they kept mentioning Biden really stood for the rule of law, and Democrats in general, the party who agree in law and order. Well, how do they feel now, these Democrats? You know, it's unfreaking believable. But it wasn't just Joe Biden who is basically lying time. It was everybody. Puppets like Cuck Harry Sisson. Hey, Donald, nobody is above the law in the United States. This is a symptom of Donald Trump. Look at him yesterday. Breaking. President Biden has officially pardoned his son, Hunter Biden. His full statement is below. I fully agree with this decision. You want to cuck up some more? Huh, Harry? Cuck up some more? You know, it's just pathetic. And it wasn't just Biden who was lying. He sent his crony, Karine Jean-Pierre. And here's her on many occasions saying he will not pardon.
But from a presidential perspective, is there any possibility that the president would end up pardoning his son?
No. I just said no. I just answered.
The president would not pardon or commute the sentence for his son, Hunter. I just want to make sure that is not going to change over the next 6 months. The president's saying he would not.
It's still a no. It's still a no.
It will always be a no.
It's still a no. It will be a no. It is a no. And I don't have anything else to add. Will he pardon his son? No.
His son, Hunter, is also up for being sentenced next month. Does the president have any intention of pardoning him?
We've been asked that question multiple times. Our answer stands, which is no.
President Biden says that he's not going to pardon his son, Hunter. Is he going to ask Donald Trump to do that?
I don't have anything else to share about that. I'm not going to go down a rabbit hole on this. I've been very clear. The president's been very clear when we've been asked this question.
Guys, she's been very clear when asked this question. No, the answer is no. She seems almost like disturbed and like that she's even being asked. And it was a legitimate question. And I said earlier that I wasn't surprised that he got pardoned. I mean, if I were the president going out the way has been treated like him, I would have done the same thing. But it's the lying. It's the fact that he gave this blanket thing, and it's all this trust that it's pathetic. He's lied multiple times about his so-called competency. We know he's not competent. We know this. But it's just the left constantly does this. They act like we're ones who want to act above the law, but they're doing exactly what they're portraying us to do. And it's constant every single time. Now, I have an awesome clip here next to Benny Johnson X. Dan Golden sidestepping because he was asked prior to how he felt about Biden maybe pardoning us when Biden said he would, and then this is him afterward. So kind of you get both, and it's funny to see.
In July of 2023, just after that plea deal fell through, this is what you said. I want to watch.
Do you think a pardon for his son would be a mistake?
Yes, and I don't think there's any chance that President Biden is going to do that, unlike his predecessor, who pardoned all of his friends and anyone who had any access to him. And I think you see that in this case, where he kept on, and Merrick Garland kept on, a Trump-appointed U.S. attorney to investigate the president's son. If there is not an indication of the independence of the Department of Justice beyond that, I don't know what we could look for.
What does that feel like, watching yourself back then, reassuring people that Biden was not going to issue a pardon for his son?
Yeah, and I think that if that plea agreement and that plea deal had gone through, there would be no pardon. That was a satisfactory outcome.
It had already fallen
that
through.
Only was. Sorry?
When you reacted, this was when the deal had fallen through. And I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, the deal had already fallen through, and now he's trying to cite. Well, blah, blah, blah. This is just what they do on the left. They say things, and then when it goes the other way, they just show that their cronies in the media are constantly going to accept it. Thank God we have Scott Jennings on CNN because he puts them in place, and this is Scott Jennings really letting them have it.
Joe Biden is leaving office making the strongest possible case for Donald Trump that anybody could possibly make it, and that's that our government and our justice system is of, by, and for the elites and nobody else. He ran to banish Trumpism from our political system in this country, and he has left it politically and now institutionally the strongest possible political force in this country. It is a complete and utter failure by the head of the Democratic Party and the President of the United States. Never again do I want to hear, oh, Donald Trump's a liar. You can't believe anything he says. Donald Trump will abuse his power. Donald Trump will only use the system to benefit himself and his family and so on and so forth. Never again. I have one question for Karen, and that is, why did he need an 11-year blanket pardon going back to 2014 when Joe Biden was the vice president? We are sitting on the biggest cover-up of who knows what crimes, and Joe Biden amazingly knows exactly, roughly, when it started. He knows just about when it all started. He's leaving office in complete and total disgrace. He is a liar. And there is no other way to spin this today. This has nothing to do with Trump and everything to do with the character of Joe Biden.
I agree 100%. Nothing to do with Trump, everything to do with the character of Biden. But why did he pick that specific date? He knows a lot more he's letting on. This thing is happening in Biden in crime family. We just call them the crime family. Yes, the crime family. And they're scared. And do you know why they're scared? Because Mr. Trump, President Trump, named Kash Patel as Director of Federal Bureau of Investigations. I'm proud to announce that Kash Patel was the next Director of Federal Bureau of Investigation. Kash is a lawyer, investigator, and America First fighter who spent his career exposing corruption, defending justice, and protecting the American people. He played a pivotal in uncovering the Russia hoax, standing as an advocate for truth, accountability, and the Constitution. Kash did an incredible job during my first term, where he served as Chief of Staff to the Department of Defense, Deputy Director of National Intelligence, and Senior for Counterterrorism and National Security Council. Kash has also tried over 60 jury trials. This FBI will end growing crime epidemic in America, dismantle the criminal gangs, stop the evil surge of human drug trafficking across the board. Kash will work under a great Attorney General Pam Bondi to bring back fidelity, bravery, and integrity to the FBI. Now, Kash Patel is not going to play around here. Now, if there's things he's been saying he wants to uncover a lot of stuff like Liddy tapes, the Epstein files. Why is that stuff hidden? Why is things being kept from the American people? And don't say, oh, they're trying to put safety. It's all bullshit. It's protecting the elites, and we need to get rid of it. And Joe Biden fully knows that he had to pardon him now, or he was never going to get Hunter out of prison for sentences, and they were going to come after him for that. Maybe not. Maybe they weren't going to come. Everybody always claims that Trump would go after his political opponents, but I don't think he's going to. This was already done. Like to come after him further. I think Joe Biden's got a lot of skeletons in the closet. How much will presidential immunity fit? A lot of time. That 2014, he was vice president, so there's a lot of there. Is he how many more people he can pardon? Does he have to put in his whole family? Blanket pardon for his whole family, 10,000, according to we have Keith Olbermann. We pardon everyone. Just pardon them all. Pardon them all. That's the Biden way. Say one thing, other for the American people. He's done that his whole career. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for watching. 165 of you, please subscribe, hit that notification bell. I love each and one. If you're an X, please follow me. Help me hit my goals of 25K by the end of the year. We can do it because I grew 5 last week. We just big week this week. And remember, if you're not engaging with conservative Greek, you must be a communist. I love each and every one. Thank you for watching Dream.